Yo guys, what is up? It's SOLAX here, back for another video. If you do find yourself enjoying the video, why not hit the like and subscribe button? It really does help out with the channel. Now right before I start the video, I do want to say this is my 2 cents on how you can improve your gunfights in PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds on the Xbox One. So my tips may be a little bit different from the top player. But if you guys do go on to enjoy the video, a like and subscription would be pretty cool. So let's start the video guys. I recently did a video on settings in PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds on the Xbox One, and I highly recommend you check that video out. I've got the video on screen now and I'll leave a link in the description so you guys can check it out. It's pretty much a detailed go on the settings in PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds and which binding preset you should use depending on your first person and third person. Now again, I can't stress this enough, this is just my opinion, so if you don't like it, that doesn't mean you have to dislike the video. But guys, let's get into some other tips. To win more gunfights, you want to know how to use your first and third person camera more effectively. Now when an enemy is in direct line of sight, I personally recommend you use your first person camera over your third person. This is mainly because if you play in binding preset B, you'll automatically aim in when you hold LT. So you don't want to have that transition where you go from third person to first person. That could throw you a little bit off aim, which is done to me a couple times. And the transition only goes for like half a second, but that half a second can be key to you winning or losing a gunfight. Make sure you're using third person to your advantage like I did right here. When you're going up these stairs, you want to look, lean, and you want to take action as soon as you possibly can. Now leaning in this game, if you're a little bit too close to an object, you won't be able to lean to your full extent. So make sure you keep wary of what's next to you and your objects, and keep that the same for players. You want to know where your players are next to you when you're landing a place like military base. So once you've got a gun or two, you can go up to another place and expect trouble and hopefully kill them. In a second I'll show you the perfect example of underestimating your enemy and forgetting where they are. Combat awareness in this game is a massive key to winning gunfights most of the time. Now I'll skip forward and show you what happens. So pretty much I spot this guy, I take a couple shots at him, I miss a tiny bit, the bullet and hit scan really isn't on my favour that day, and I completely forget about this guy and I decide to go down. I thought he was going to go to apartments, but I guess I was horribly wrong. Alrighty guys, here's another clip from another game. I decide to go military base again to see how my luck plays out. Now I spot this guy up here, and as my next tip follows, combat awareness and knowing where the F your enemy is, looking, seeing where they try to blend in and fucking them up as much as you can. Now I'm going in here and I'm like, whoa, that's a weird ass barrel. See this guy, start taking shots at him. I'm like, alright, where'd he go? Hit him once in the head, he must be quite low. And this guy. Sound is probably going to be one of the biggest defining factors if you're going to make it or not in a gunfight, and how to properly enter a gunfight. Right here you have my favourite example of sound in a gunfight and how it can definitely help you out. Now I'm just looting here and I hear some guy coming around the corner. In fact I hear 2 different people from what I remember. Guns on order, see the guy on the left, decide to take this guy out. He does quite well on tagging me. I know the other guy has no weapon, otherwise he would have pulled it out by now. I'm about half health, so I decide to loot this guy's body, I think, for bandages. Turns out he had an MK or a Mini 14, and I'll skip later into the video. Alrighty, so now I see this guy go into the building. He seems like he's going in slow, like he can hear someone else, so I try to use that to my advantage. Alright, so I kind of miss all my shots there. I decide to throw a grenade. After throwing that grenade, I just use my hype fire or hip fire. I have a really bad problem with saying hype fire, even though it's hip fire. Someone commented that in one of my PUBG videos. In the last one, I see this guy. I think I thought that was an actual lethal grenade, the one that has the explosive fragments, but it turns out it was just a smoke grenade. But I was able to hear him and where he was. I'm pretty sure he had crap weapons, or he was... To be honest, I really don't know where this guy was. I thought he was behind me at first, which he ended up being. I go on to lean, I aim for the head, which I don't see much people do on console. They just aim for the body. Obviously I don't think I got a headshot on him, but you definitely want to aim higher in the torso, because most vests don't cover that location, and you can get an easy shot off in the neck. Now I'm pretty sure I hear another guy and I end up taking him out. Alright, so I loot up a little bit, start bandaging up. I've got in the sky with a 2x scope and I hear some more footsteps. I'm like, alright, this is crazy. That guy must have been at the top and waiting the whole time for the other guys to shoot out. Now I hit him once in the head, I'm pretty sure, and he gets pretty low from that. He decides to try to drop shot me, I think you could say. I honestly don't know what he was trying. Obviously it didn't work. And yeah, I end up taking him out, and I'm pretty sure that's the last guy in the building. But right there was a classic example of how sound did help me. Now obviously, sound isn't going to make you win every single gunfight in PUBG, but buildings like this, you're going to need sound to your best advantage, and it's going to be your best advantage if you know how to properly use it and execute it in battle/gunfights. As you play the game more, you'll understand more sounds and how the sounds work around in this game. Now, you'll be able to distinguish if someone's above or below you by listening to the sounds of their footsteps. Now, I'm pretty sure they've patched this, but before the patch, I'm pretty sure they've patched this. Pretty much, if you took off your shoes or you had shoes on, it would make a big difference in sound. Shoes off would make less sound indoors, and shoes on would make a lot more sound indoors. You'd sound like an elephant in a room, which is quite hilarious. But yeah, you guys definitely want to learn the sounds, and that will help you. You'll know if someone's above you, below you, to the left of you, or to the right of you, or above and to the left, or below to the right. But yeah guys, if you're wondering what headset I'm using an Astro A40 Ti Xbox One edition. These things are lovely. Also, Turtle Beach is a nice company to invest in for headphones or headsets, but if you have an extra bit of money, I'd recommend going with Astros. That's just my opinion, but let's get on to the next tip. My next tip, in my opinion, works really well for me, and that is leaning unnecessarily. Now when I say leaning unnecessarily, I don't mean just lean around the doorway or around an object like a car. Just lean when you're in the middle of a gunfight. This may be hard for you, you know, if it isn't muscle memory like it kind of is for me, but if you incorporate this in your playstyle, it's going to help a lot. Especially if you don't want to get one tapped in the head early on in the game when you don't have a helmet. Most people wouldn't expect you to lean, so it can throw off the aim if they're aiming at your head or upper torso. And this will give you a slight advantage, and you'll be able to hopefully get the killing shot on them. Now this works well with drop shotting. Now if you don't have a SCUF or Xbox One Elite controller, you can use the claw, which is where you put your pointing finger onto the buttons X, Y, B, A. But yeah guys, drop shotting and leaning unnecessarily is going to give you a bit of an advantage. My final tip for winning gunfights in PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds is simply by not getting in them. If you're not getting into a gunfight, then you're not going to lose it, so you're pretty much going to win them. This sounds a little bit stupid, but think about it. Now, I obviously don't mean just go and camp the whole game and kill the last guy. You can do that if you want, that's totally up to you. But don't go out thinking you're Shroud or some esports player and you can completely wreck ass when you probably can't. I did this a lot, and I kind of let my ego take over in squads and duos, thinking I was, better than I actually am, overestimating myself, underestimating the opponents. This tip, sounds a little bit useless, that's why I put it last. So if you guys did enjoy the video, why not hit that like and subscribe button. If you want a part 2 to this, leave in the comments and or like the video. I'm thinking about doing a collab with some other PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds players on Xbox to see what they think about PUBG on the Xbox and how to get better at and how to win gunfights and stuff. Grandad, if you're watching this video, yeah, thanks for watching the video. I know you said you've been watching my video, so I just want to give you a shout out. And yeah, Iggy and Jackson, a shout out to you guys as well. Go subscribe to them. But yeah guys, SOLAX Nathan signing out.